beautiful souls. I'm sorry because this is almost a last minute video because the new moon, the next new moon, will happen tomorrow, at least accordingly to the European Central Time. But I was a bit tired, and this is why I record it just one day before the event is happening. But let's begin because it's really important, the different things that happens or will happen. We can say no, we can say that already are happening right now. One of them, and very important, is the conjunction between the Sun and the star Regulus. That will be the Moon will be joined this conjunction tomorrow. This happens at 0 degrees Virgo. It means that this new moon holds together, holds the entire potential that the sign of Virgo offers us. And also, this happens just before the next eclipse season begins, because and all the next eclipse season happens or will happen all in Virgo also. Virgo, and then the moon opposite in Pisces. But in Virgo, even first the moon eclipse, then the solar eclipse that will happen at 29 degrees Virgo. So we now are entering into the Virgo season that is, well, it seems very powerful, containing within it not only this new moon, that is like the new moon opens the door to the eclipse, the powerful eclipse season that all happens in Virgo. So I don't want to repeat myself anymore, and let's begin. As I said, this new moon happens in Virgo. Also, conjunct Regulus, there's another star, Presepio of Leo Minor, that that adds its energy to Regulus and to the moon and sun. And its energy is really similar, although fainter, of the Regulus. So in reality, it's like Regulus is joined by this star that adds its own energy, although as I see, as I will explain you, is really similar. And we have two planets, Sun and Moon, and two stars, all at the same point at 0 degrees Virgo. So let's say that the eclipse, only a little bit about the eclipses, because I will record a video about them, maybe in 1 week, more or less. But let's say that eclipses are portals that bring change. Sometimes the change can be really powerful and deep, through surges of karmic and dharmic energies that need to be addressed, recognized, and integrated. So we are entering into a very powerful month. Now, let's talk a little bit about the star Regulus, because Regulus is one of the 4 royal Persian stars. Regulus is Alpha Leonis from the Leo constellation, so it's the most brilliant star of the constellation. Approximately, it lies at 79 light years from Earth, and its orb of influence is 2.3. So it means that 2.3 degrees before the star and after the star when it is placed, it affects or it shares its influence to any planet that lies there. In reality, Regulus is a multiple star system, at least with 4 stars. The main one, excuse me, is this one, the white bluish star that has a dwarf companion. But there are also 2 other companions that also both of them are dwarf stars. The main one, or the biggest one, we can say, of all of them, has about 4.5 times solar masses, and it has a very rapid, a very quick spin rotation that it only lasts 15.9 hours to rotate to its own, and it's so quickly, it's so rapid that it causes that the star has an oblate, we can say, shape that is flattered in the poles and elongated in the equator. But and the speed that it rotates is really a critical speed. So it means that if this speed was a little bit higher, the star would break. Its name, star Regulus, excuse me, its name Regulus means little kid. Although at that moment, because the society was so patriarchal, maybe now we could say that not only little king, but also little queen. Uh, the Regulus is not only a royal Persian star, but also it's part of the 15 Behirian stars. So with it, it's associated plant and mineral. The plant is the mugwort that really is a good plant for almost every part of our bodies. And the mineral is the granite. The granite representing inner strength, fortitude, having an inner solid ground for manifesting our heart's desire or heart's purpose. So in this way, we can confide with ourselves and the wisdom of our hearts while we encounter difficult situations along our lives. Regulus also is attributed or is associated, we can say, as a celestial healer that balances hearts and minds. Here we have a picture of the 4 stars that configure the Regulus star system. And the star, or in reality, the 4 stars together, give us, or maybe in this case, I wouldn't say that the stars give some attributes to us. but mostly they awaken and activate within our hearts some abilities that we already have within us, such, for example, honor, integrity, creativity, generosity, strength, power, and courage, and this sense of being part or having been had been part of some kind of royalty. It also helps us to connect with our ancestral wisdom. That in this way, this wisdom helps us to balance power with compassion and humility instead of using power through arrogance and pride. It bestows us leadership, abilities, charisma, and the desire to uplift others. But as all stars, it has a shadow side when we are not able or cannot, we cannot want, excuse me, we don't want uh, to receive its energies, and in this way, if we block them or deny them, then we feel the energies of Regulus as arrogance, pride, although this arrogance and pride are already within our hearts and our minds, and maybe with a thirst of revenge or resentment. As I said, Regulus, at least for me, I feel its energies speaking directly uh, to our hearts, not our minds, but our hearts. And so, if we have broken hearts for whatever reason, then the energies of Regulus can create inner conflict, not knowing how to deal with the emotions we feel. And also, Regulus reminds us that we have sacred parts of ourselves to discover and integrate if we want to become whole. It's like it's a multiple star system. It's a star system that is only whole if the four stars work together. So for me, it's a similarity. When the sun is conjunct Regulus in a natal chart, for example, then the person has a strong sense of purpose, an innate leadership abilities, a desire to shine brightly in their chosen field while inspiring others. Even can bring Regulus conjunct the sun can bring fame. When the moon is conjunct Regulus, then the person shows an emotional strength and resilience with a tendency of being a nurturing leader who cares for their community and may experience heightened intuition and ancestral connections. And this new moon gives us both. So not only the sun but also the moon will be conjunct Regulus. So during the day of the new moon, we can receive both influences, the influence of Regulus through the sun, through our heart, and the influence of Regulus through the moon. But all this new moon also, as I said at the beginning, lies at 0 degrees of Virgo, holding all potential of this Earth sign can offer during each season. So, which kind of potential Virgo can offer us? In reality, Virgo, at least for me, is a very complex sign, or can be a very complex sign, with a tendency to be led by the logical mind, analyzing to the tiniest point every situation, people around, while struggling to commit to the area of life where the sign is. So, depending on the house where the sign lies, the person can struggle to commit to this area of his or her life. For it, and because it brings contradictions that surface every now and then. For example, one very typical: I want to have a partner, but at the same time, I want to be free. And sometimes the person lives that as a contradiction because one is exclusive of the other, when in reality both can be inclusive. But this is task of the person to realize or to feel, understand the possible inclusiveness of both aspects, and in this way live both. Also, Virgo is related to put our feet on the soil and learn how to use it for the better. For it, sowing, planting, harvesting, acquiring knowledge of the natural cycles, how to flow and dance with them, while creating order and structure as a foundation, a good foundation for our lives and communities to grow and expand. Also, Virgo is related to be in service to others and be a healer. Virgo can in reality, can give us a sense of being complete, to become virgin, but virgin in the widest sense of the word. That means that includes being the maiden and the prostitute, the mother and the crone, all together within us, without any kind of contradiction, but accepting all what we are as female, but also we can relate that to the female part, or the female energies that every male has within him. And also we can relate Virgo to the ancient Vesta virgins that were consecrated to the goddess Vesta. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is about being quick, is about communication, thought, learning, how we perceive life depending on the sign and the house where it sits, is about curiosity, ability to move between different realities. For example, ability to move between different social realities, different social consciousness, for example. And most of all, it represents the alchemical magic of the mind and its processes, including conflict and contradictions, as I said before. He is also a trickster and a magician, the one who knows how to work with the hidden forces of nature. It assists us to explore the realms of magic and mystery, keeping us at the same time in alert with its trickster antics. We also can say that Ceres, the asteroid Ceres of the asteroid belt, would be a co-ruler of Virgo, together with Chiron. Chiron as the wounded healer. So Virgo can have not only a main ruler, but two co-rulers, we can say, and altogether can explain, at least for me, much better, the complexity of this sign. And in this layout, or complex layout, we can say the Sun, Moon, Regulus, 0 degrees Virgo. This complex layout offers us many different possibilities and opens a door for the last eclipse season of this year. It means that, at least for me, my perception is that this new moon, that at the same time marks the beginning of a new moon cycle, although this new moon cycle embraces the both eclipses. It encourages us to work with ourselves if we really want to come out of the 3D matrix. It's many programs that keep our minds in prison, programs, implants. So it's like this new moon opens a light door to really empower ourselves, but working deeply with us, and in this way using the energies of the eclipses, the powerful energies of the eclipses, the moon and sun eclipses, we can free or almost free ourselves from this 3D matrix that we desperately want to come out of it. But what can we do to overcome the complexity of the 3D matrix? Because we know that this is crumbling, but at the same time it's crumbling, but stays. It seems that it's crumbling, but at the same time it seems that there's some inner force within it that keeps it structure enough to keep itself still governing the world and all human and non-human beings on it. So, what can we do? At least for me and for experience, or mainly, is really, really important to expand the energy of our hearts. But it's not only about expanding the energies of our hearts as a way to increase self-esteem, compassion, that is really important, of understanding, empathy, but also because only from the heart we can overcome any kind of inner boundary. It's only from the heart that we can overcome any kind of mind boundary. And with it, I include many mind programs, simulations, implants. We only can overcome them from the heart, and at the same time while balancing mind and heart, and in this way um, spreading around us and within us a coherence field of energy. So this point is really important. I have many years ago, every time I arrive to some dead point in my life, some difficult dead point in my life that seemed that I couldn't overcome, a voice within, my inner voice, always said, expand the heart, don't worry, don't panic, expand the heart, unite brain and heart together, and calm down. He have peace also. And when I did that, well, I have done that many times. It was the way that I could overcome something, and a new door opened before me where I could go beyond that situation, whatever it was or they were in reality. So it's first of all because of my own experience. But also, every time that I suggested people to do this kind of exercise, people have experienced the benefits of it. So that's why I suggest to you to do that if you can every day. If you have little time, maybe only 5 10 minutes, breathing in and out from the heart with intention of expanding the energies of the heart, overcoming limitations, boundaries of any kind, doesn't matter, but at the same time being in peace, knowing that you can do that. You can overcome everything you are encountering at this moment. Breathing in and out. If you feel fears, guilt, shame, or whatever other emotion, you can add to this breathing the violet color, for example, as a way to transmute, dissolve those feelings you feel. And you can do that 5 10 minutes, and then you can add another kind of breathing that is inhaling the energy of the brain. Imagine your brain, and every time you inhale, you bring the energy of the brain to the heart, and then every time you exhale, you expand the new energy, brain and heart, expand it around you, inhaling, bringing the brain into the heart, exhaling, expanding the new um, mixed energy that comes out from your heart. And you can do that 5 more minutes if you want, 10 or more. And then, well, you can feel the difference before the exercise and after it. Also, another important point is going within. Going within, no matter what is happening around you in your life, go within. Instead of focusing your mind outside of yourself, or blaming someone, or criticizing, judging. No, trying to blame some kind of government, people, doesn't matter. No, uh, no matter what happens, go within. Go within, keep calm, and be in peace. And then you can breathe through your heart, for example, because in this way you're not feeding the matrix anymore. The matrix, its leaders, anymore. You also recover your own power, the reins of your life, protect yourself, you establishing inner boundaries, strong inner boundaries, and your energy is not leaked, and you don't lose it. This exercise help you to increase your self-worthiness and self-esteem. Also, it's very important to appreciate all forms of life, be regularly in contact with nature, because most of the nature, plants, trees, mountains, are out of this mental matrix, we can programs, and they are out of any kind of implant. So it's very important to establish this nature connection on everyday basis or every week basis. And also it's important to ground ourselves, but grounding ourselves from our hearts, and not only below our feet, but grounding ourselves from our hearts down, 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 until we reach the core of the earth, where there's the inner light of the planet, its heart, and also space. It's a space, um, not only physical but energetically. It's a space that contains the entire galaxy in it, in reality, because as above, so below, as without, so within. So the energy of the core of the earth is so important to connect with, because it contains the entire solar system, the entire galaxy, and even beyond that, the entire universe. So it's very important. And finally, well, we can read books, articles that empower us, for example, that encourage us to explore deeply our spirituality. And it's also important stopping giving too much importance to news and be detached. Observe news, whatever kind they are, observe them and detach from them. It doesn't mean not to take action if we feel called to, but without impulsiveness, without any rage, resentment, for example, kind of revenge. We can change that. No, being detached, observe, and in this way, when if we want to take some kind of action, this action would be more effective in reality. And also we will affect more the matrix, changing it, um, helping it to crumble more and more and easier, because we would not be attached to it. So the matrix could not feed from us, from our feelings, emotions, and thoughts. And that's it. So that's it for today. Have a lovely day and see you soon. Bye bye.